Assalamualaikum and welcome to Jan Sewing Solutions. Now today's solution is a fix-it that we've done on a couple of old dresses. They weren't exactly old, but they were out of date dresses. These are kameez that were sewn probably a good couple of years ago, maybe even longer, where then the fashion changed quite drastically and the kameez went from thigh length to ankle length almost, and basically the outdated stuff just seemed completely out of order. You know, you couldn't really wear them. So a friend of mine has bought these in a very long time ago for amendments, and I actually, sometimes you look at something and the work required in it just seems like overwhelming, and I looked at these dresses many times and I actually ended up putting them away again because I just didn't know how to address it. I couldn't get the idea in my head how to do the transformation to get them looking right. Anyway, finally I plucked up the courage and put together a border. Now this is the border that I put together. I'll just give you a little bit of a close-up and sort of guide you on what we've done. Now I looked for this blue fabric everywhere, Banarsi fabric. I looked for the shades that went inside it and I couldn't really find anything until I finally tumbled on the same fabric dress but in a different color. Now I bought this lace. Initially I just bought this lace, and then I thought of the lace had a slight bit of a color of like a purple inside it, and I thought, well, I'll add a thick border of purple underneath it, but then that didn't look right. So having exhausted all the ideas, I was sort of at a bit of a loss until I finally managed to locate this pinky fabric, which is of the same type. And to be honest, now if you looked at the border, the way it's been assembled together, you could actually almost perceive it to be as one. So you can combine two different fabrics of same fabric but of two different colors to create a border like this. That's just an idea for you. It does require a fair bit of effort because the time it took me to do these alterations, it was almost like I could have sewn a new kameez from it. Now the other thing, that big laxing thing in this dress was that the daman was quite narrow. Even now you can see that the back daman is just marginally wider, but once it's worn you can't tell any different. It is marginally wider than the top one, but then if I chopped any off it would make it like long and narrow kameez, which we didn't want to do. We wanted to add as much width to the bottom of the kameez as possible. Also, sometimes changes in the body can influence the way the kameez looks. This particular lady who this kameez belongs to, she was once upon a time a fairly thin person, and she has put on a slight bit of weight, especially around the middle area, which majority was over 40s and 50s tend to do. The narrow kameez or the fitted kameez on the hips doesn't look right, so you want added width here, and in order to get this added width I had to add an extension, you know, the piping, so I could get the maximum amount out of the dress itself. Anyway, that's just one of the transformations of these fix-it solution videos. So there were two that I've done. Now there is one more that I'm supposed to do, but I'm really stuck on that because I can't seem to locate the fabric to actually do the amendments to that, and at the moment nothing seems right. I'm just going to put this away and share the other one with you. So anyway, I think it's worth the wait on these dresses. Now the second one was this purple one, and again I had the problem that there was nothing that I could actually match that went really well with this. So again, what I've done is I've opted for a brown, and I used a combination of two laces. This kameez wasn't too bad. The extension is about 5 inches in length, but again I've taken out as much as possible, and then I've used brown fabric to pipe it, and the brown is in the embroidery in the dress. Again, this kameez had a problem. It had darts inserted in the front as well, which when the fabric is like this, it doesn't actually need darts. So what you can do, I took the darts out from the front and I shaped it a little bit. Well, I shaped it quite a lot, because in the original the shape was sort of misaligned. The other thing, slight bit of problem with this kameez was that there was almost like a twist in the kameez. I think there is, even now, there is a very marginal, but I've tried to eliminate it as much as possible. So if you're looking for a solution on how to extend your kameeza into a longer length, then the advice that I would offer is to pull open all the seams from previous, iron everything out, create the borders, attach the borders, and then add piping to the sides, and that way you will get the length and also you will get the width. And to get a look like this, you are going to have to do both in order to make it wearable, because just adding length will make the kameez look too straight and narrow. So anyway, join me again where I shall be doing a video on how to make well, I'll be doing a suit which I will be explaining all the ins and outs of. So take care, and I will hopefully see you again soon.